And as promised, after Ratchet and Clank, yesterday or 2 days ago,
Horizon Zero Dawn. Dang it!
Started up that old Returnal.
Hey, all right.
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Chris, are you planning on playing Returnal?
Maybe. I don't know.
I love that text you sent, and it just said, No.
Yeah. That game, Chris, I don't think you would like it, to tell you the truth.
Really?
I mean, I don't like roguelikes, which is the main reason why I haven't jumped in. It's like, I'll wait till it gets really deep on sale to maybe give it a try.
Yeah,
did you like, what was the 8-bit one that came out? Dead Cells?
Dead Cells? I loved Dead Cells.
No, okay.
Didn't play it.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And Hades, obviously. Talked about that a bunch. Okay, so Returnal.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple gripes, but some of them are my fault.
Yeah, so do I.
You sure?
Okay, so gripe number one, I am stressed out playing that game. I am stressed.
Yeah.
I am stressed out.
Yes.
I feel like I'm gripping the controller really hard. It's making all kind of noise and ticking every 2 seconds. It runs the battery on your controller down like crazy, more than any other game I've played. It's got like the pull halfway kind of doozy what's it on the triggers. There's not where I am. There's not, and I'm not that far into the game. I've only beat like the first boss and into the second area and doing the thing there. That's where I stopped tonight. To me, right now, there's not that many weapons, which is like a little frustrating. It feels like the same 4 are on recycle right now, or maybe 5, like pistol, shotgun, AR, and like maybe a really fast shooting gun. Anyway, I like it. I'm going to say this because it was in the commercial, so there's not a spoiler. There's like a random house you can go in.
Yep.
That junk is scary to your boy. I do not like it. Like you have to walk through it and you have to do the thing, or you should. Boy, I don't like being in that house.
That's
I don't
hilarious.
like it. Like enough to where I've almost skipped that part, but it seems like an important thing you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so I've been in the house twice. Boy, I don't like it.
But after you've been in it twice, have you learned, okay, it's not like
nothing's going
It's
to jump
no
out
more
at
than
me.
what you
Right.
think it's going to be.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Oh, what I think it's going to be is Resident Evil 7.
Exactly.
And it hasn't been that.
there you go.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like when you're walking in there. But yes, to me, so far, nothing like jumped out at me. It's just like spooky.
Yeah.
And it like all of a sudden like zooms into first person and you have to walk around the house in first person where you do the whole rest of the game in third person. But it's beautiful. It's definitely a next gen game. The loading is non-existent. You can skip everything that looks like it might be hiding loading.
That's incredible.
There's a lot of enemies. They are extremely gracious to you if you never get hit. Like the goal is to really like never get hit, and that's tough. Okay, here's 2 gripes real quick.
Okay.
The way you level up is you kill somebody, you kill a monster, and like these like gold gems pop out of them, and you have to like kind of collect them.
Yeah.
What I don't like about that is your sphere of collecting them is very narrow. It's like your body. It's not like you shoot somebody and all these things zip up to you.
Right.
So if you kill somebody from far away, you don't get that XP.
Right.
And it disappears really fast. Like maybe 2 seconds, right, Ed? It stays on the ground before it starts blinking and then goes away.
Yep.
And because the game is stressful, I don't like fighting people right up on them like that.
They force you to do that.
Yeah, and they force you sometimes, but sometimes I'm like, I'm going to kill that person down the way. And then their stuff falls out, and I'm like, shoot, well, I'm not going to go down there and get that. I can't stand that. I wish it would like stay forever or just zip to you, and I'd much rather that.
There are things to help.
There are things to help that like will expand your reach
Yep.
So like the if I can use this word, like the orb around you, your hit marker is bigger for when you're
Yep.
walking past them, or they last on the ground for longer.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
it's like 5 seconds. It's not like just stay. You know what I'm saying? But it's not 2 seconds.
Right.
Here's my other gripe.
Okay.
Ah, man, this is super subjective. To me, this sounds tough. I don't mean for it to sound this tough. Just go with me. It's not fun enough to
Really?
be a
That's
roguelike.
too rough.
I know.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's it. We're out of here.
Really?
to me, I am enjoying it, but when you die and start over, I'm definitely like, oh.
Really?
It's
You're
not
feeling
like
it.
it's not like, oh yeah, all right, let's jump back in it. Hades was kind of like that, where it was funner when you died, jumping back in. The in Hades you die and kind of like go back to this house, and you have all these people you could talk to and interact with, and you could upgrade yourself there, and there's all these snarky comments that are happening, and they unfold the more you die, and so the more you die, the more you're talking to Hades, the more you're talking to this and that and the other god. And so more story gets revealed. So you're almost like, when you die, you're like, oh, okay, good. Well, let me go see what's happening.
Right.
Dead Cells doesn't have any of that, but it's just faster paced. You know what I'm saying? You're jumping levels and double jumping and slicing people. And so it just moves a little faster. This game, I can't say it's not fun. It's just not super fun for every time you die. Does that make sense?
It does.
Is that
Yeah.
fair at all?
I
So you're like
understand.
you're just dreading it. Then you kind of dread dying.
No,
You're like,
it's
oh,
not
here we go.
dread. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not dread.
Okay.
And it's not delight. It's somewhere
Right.
in the middle of that where you're like when you die,
Here
you're
we go
mad.
again.
You're so frustrated.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
especially when you make it to that second biome or whatever the second, I don't know what they're all called. Is it biomes? Like
Yeah.
when you make it to that desert area or whatever, that
Yep.
next one. You're like, yeah, I made it. But you're like, yeah, I made it. Oh boy, I hope I don't die. Because I don't want to have to go back and do all that again. Because you feel like they work it out kind of cool to where once you open a biome and you find that room, you can just go to that next biome.
Right.
However, you kind of want to stay around in the first one and upgrade yourself,
That's
get a
what I
better
do,
gun,
yeah.
then go.
Yeah.
And so you really are running around, and all you have to do is dodge the boss. You don't have to do the boss over again.
Yeah.
So, oof.
So the two things I will say to you, Gabe, and you may already have discovered them,
Okay.
that might help.
All right.
Do you know what I mean when I say spaceman?
Yes.
Get a spaceman.
Yes, I know what that means. Yes.
Okay. And then
I was
also
too cheap last time I ran across one. I couldn't get it. You know.
that's what I'm saving. Yeah, I always save up for the spaceman.
Yes,
And then
yes.
also, you know that carving of Michelangelo's David with like this all the arms?
Yes, I know what you're talking about with that one. Here's the problem with that though.
Yep.
You find him in the first one, right?
Yep.
And you do what you're supposed to do. He don't work once you go to the next biome area.
I know.
I didn't know that, so I went and
didn't
spent up all my money that I had saved, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this thing because it's gonna hook a brother up. Went to the next biome, died, and I was like, I know they ain't put me back in this ship.
So now what I do is I save those for, like, I've never gotten past the third world. So if I see one in the third world, I'll always get one there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So like for you, get one when if you
Get into the second biome.
find the second one. Yeah.
So it's like oh man, I'd say get the game if you like that kind of stuff, but I'm just trying to temper expectations because it's like I can just hear every time I die for some reason I hear Chris in my head and I'm like, I need to tell Chris not to play this game.
Really? Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean, but
because
it's just
sometimes it's cheap. Sometimes it's cheap. Like sometimes you walk into that first room and there's like 3 bosses there, and you're like, I can't kill these jokers with my pistol, and then you are
Right.
dead and starting all over again. You're like, I could just hear Chris like, nah, man, come on, man, I ain't playing this game.
That's so funny.
I mean, it really just depends. While I didn't look at, like, I don't know what all the biomes look like. I don't know what all the, I didn't
Me
look
either.
heavily into it, but I feel like of what I watched, I know enough that I feel like if I were to give it a go, I know what I'm getting into. The situation that I'm in is, okay, so I took a shot on Bloodborne, Because it's not exactly the same. Like the Souls-like games are not roguelikes, but they're for all intents and purposes almost kind of the same thing. I mean, it's just
there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah, it's just that there's no procedural generated blah blah blahs. So I really like Bloodborne, which is the reason that I wanted to give Demon Souls a shot. And I liked Demon Souls for the time I spent with it, but I did not stick with it nearly as long as I did Bloodborne. Something about Bloodborne really worked. It was not just the slightly faster gameplay. It was also the atmosphere, and all that stuff worked for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm with you on that.
What attracts me to Bloodborne, or did attract me to Bloodborne and kept me there, I get senses of that with Returnal. Mm-hmm. So that's what makes me think, like, shoot, I should pull the trigger at some point, and I may dig it because of these elements. Even though that style of gameplay, I agree with you, by default, I usually would resist.
I think, and this is going to be a really weird comparison, I think you would like Returnal. I wouldn't say I'm not going to go out on a limb and say, I think you'll love Returnal.
Yeah.
But if you liked it, I think one of the reasons you would like it is because you liked Bit Trip Runner. Mm-hmm. Because in that one, you get a hit all the way back to the beginning of the level, unless you hit the checkpoint.
But but the difference though, Ed, right, is that, okay, again, subjective. Bit Trip is really fun.
See, and
like bright, and like you're into the action.
Right. But I was the opposite of you, where just knowing me, I thought I would have your reaction, because every time I died, I was like, all right, let's go again. Let's do this. Let's do it. Here we go. Yeah, I was having so much fun when I died. It was just kind of like, all right, here we go. And I should have dipped out even earlier than I have, because they do offer you, okay, but if you get this far, now you have this ability forever. And it took me so long to
They stingy with them things, though.
They're very stingy, and it took me forever to get even the first one. I can go through these vines, and I want to get that thing in there. It took me way too long to get that. Like the fact that you know what
these bridges. Like, why can't I get a bridge going on? I need these bridges working.
I mean, keep going, because you might. See, and that's what I was like.
Tough, boy.
I was at that point where I was like, man, if I could just cross these bridges, that's all I want in this game. That's all I want. And I got that. And then I was like, man, if I could go in that water down there, that's all I want. That's all I know.
So I'm going to keep playing it.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it's testing my patience.
It's dicey right now.
It's on what my mama would call my last nerve. I got a couple nerves. I got a couple nerves left. Yeah. So I've got probably one or two long plays and dying and having to start over left in me, but I don't think I have 5 of them.
Now, I haven't gotten to that point, but another little teaser thing for you is that when you get past this isn't a spoiler of any kind. When you get past the 3rd biome, you no longer go back to the very beginning.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's kind of like at the halfway mark of biomes. Once you get past the first 3, the beginning of 4 is your new. If you die, that's where you go to.
That's nice.
So there's that.
That's my last check mark against it.
So there you go.
I have no idea what is going on in this game.
You got to keep going to the houses.
You got to keep going to the houses.
Listen to me. I ain't got no idea what is going on in this game. And so that's a little frustrating, because
neither does
you're like,
Homegirl.
okay.
Yeah, neither does she.
I know.
You're figuring it out together.
I know, but you're like, give me something. Give me something to keep.
Oh,
like
that's funny.
if
you get that
it's not
when you go in the
fun,
house.
I did went in the house twice. I said I have no idea what's going on. I didn't see
you gotta go more than that.
I'm scared when I'm in there, man. I can't barely listen to what's going on. Yeah.
Hey, A for effort, man. You're still doing it.
Yeah,
we applaud you. Seriously.
Man. Ooh, this game.
When you pick up those little parasites, and then every couple of minutes you hear and feel it in your controller running through with your controller.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Ooh,
dude.
freaky.
The stuff they have going on in the controller is nuts. Like, you could play with the sound off and feel like it's on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like you can
Oh,
play with the
wow.
TV muted and be like, oh no, the sound is completely on right now.
Yep.
It's crazy what they pump through that little controller.
Yep.
It's
Wow.
next gen. The game's next gen.
Do you use the haptic for like halfway and all? Because some people turn
Oh, yeah.
turn that off, and that's half.
I don't. Not on that game. It's that and Ratchet use it correctly.
Yes,
Like I
yeah.
felt like Call of Duty used it just because they could. That's why I turned it off. But this Ratchet and this one, it makes sense what they do because I tried to. I wanted to just like play a little bit of it. And y'all know I hate remote play. But I was like, I'm gonna just try it. My PS5 is hardwired. My PS4 is right next to the router, like in the same room, not close
Hi.
enough to the exactly. I was like, I'm gonna just try it. Number one is booty. Number two, you don't have that with the controllers. So in Returnal, when you pull halfway down, it aims. When you pull it all the way down, it lets you use like a special ability the gun has or something like that. When you're playing on PS4 remote play, because the PS4 ain't got that halfway pull down, even if you just slightly pull it down, it's into the special of the gun.
Oh wow.
And so I have to use it because it would be impossible to feel otherwise.
Yeah.
So let me ask you just real quick, because
Yeah, I
both
hate
of you
remote
guys.
play, if that was your question.
No, that was not my question.
Oh, okay. Go
I
ahead
don't
then.
ever.
I've heard.
I play every single game with headphones. Usually
Yeah.
these, but I have one other set of headphones. So between the two, I'm every game.
Okay.
So I don't ever turn off, and I don't even know if any of the games I've bought and played have like stuff out of the speaker because I don't hear it,
Spider-Man
even
does.
if it's on.
Miles Morales does.
Okay, so I don't
I had
ever
no
hear
idea.
it.
Yeah.
So one thing that I did hear about the game that was a positive to me, anyways, was that Returnal had really good audio, and that in some sense, which I kind of what gravitated me to this is because I also kind of used to do this in my Call of Duty days. Is like I almost used my headset as like a UAV in a way in Call of Duty,
Yeah,
where I can hear
absolutely,
where
in
people
Call of
are
Duty.
because you can hear all the sounds. I
Absolutely.
heard that was very much this case with Returnal as well, where
Yeah.
a lot of times like there's going to be something attacking you from behind, and you don't even. The only way that you know it is because you get used to a
Yep.
sound and you hear it.
Yep.
But is that headset wise, or is that a lot of that stuff coming through the speaker? Am
That's
I like, shoot,
headset-wise.
I need to. Okay.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my question. Is it?
Yeah.
I've
Do I
only
need to
played it
listen
on
to
the
the
speaker.
speaker on the controller or not?
I've only played on speakers. I haven't played when I'm playing. I usually, unless somebody's in here with me, I always play through speakers, just because I like the way they sound and I like I like feeling it. And I feel like I can't feel it in headphones. And I've got studio monitors. It's not like I'm playing
Right.
through the TV audio.
Right.
And so I always play through that, and the sound is incredible, and it does allow me to kind of hear both, which I think is. I would encourage somebody later in the game, like, just pop the headphones out and listen to that and hear all what's going on. It's really cool.
And I believe, if I'm not wrong, all those sounds that come through, you also hear. Because when I'm playing with
Yeah.
headphones on, I can hear the parasite as well walking
Yes.
in the
But
the
it feels
controller.
different because it's coming from somewhere
Right,
else.
right.
When you're playing with speakers, it's coming from where your hands are, like almost like where your gun is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so
Oh, yeah,
you kind
yeah.
of get a more, which is just so cool. Oh,
Yeah.
They killed it with that.
That's awesome.
I was like, fine, I get it. The speaker and the controller.
Mute.
Yeah, exactly.